Hello, everyone, and a very happy Wednesday to all of you. So, for today's lighting critique, I want to start off with Alfredo and Aaron. I realized yesterday too late that you guys both got hosed a little bit because what I was doing was I was going through all the tabs and I was going backwards, and I got to Ashley, and I didn't realize that there was Aaron and Alfredo on the other side of it. So now I am screwing over the people at the beginning of the alphabet, so now I feel bad for you guys and we're gonna start here with you all. So I'll do straight normal alphabet from here on forward, and then after that I'll start to mix it up a little bit. All right. So Aaron, first of all, this is cool. The colors are looking great. It's feeling a little bit heavy, and what I started to think about was like, okay, so we're underwater. And so I started like, because I'm not 100% feeling the underwater effects of this yet. And whenever I do that, I always like go back a little bit and think to myself, like, okay, what are the main aesthetic goals of an underwater shot? And whenever I'm wondering this, I actually like to go to paintings before I go to photography, just because like I want to know what it is about this image that feels underwater. Just like this random, like there's no indication of anything else. It's like the colors and the feel of it. Like let's start to like really identify it. And some of the biggest stuff is like how quickly we go back and like how quickly things start to go blue as we go back into space. That atmospheric fall off, that perspective is just super murky, and that transition happens very quickly. Also, it's like light coming in from a direction. We're seeing some God rays coming in, and just and also like some floating particulates in the air. Those are always like three really big ones. And then I was looking some more, and then yeah, like these caustic patterns on the ground, and then just an overall glowiness to the shot as a whole. So just like the fact that your lens would be underwater, there everything would just be diffused a little bit more. So what I'm thinking is, um, what I would like to see, or what I think we can do is, uh, increase, like allow this maybe to get a little murkier, allow I guess the foreground would get not quite as murky, but really what I want to see is just like God, like definitive God rays coming in from one side, and then just like these dark values are fine in here, but like we really want to up, um, yeah, I guess they're a little bit too heavy kind of overall. Like they're fine in here, but you can see, like I said, even just going back into this space, these dark values are very, very lifted. Um, so maybe even like we're starting to get up in here, they start to get a little bit lifted, and especially like on this rock here. I think that'll really help out a lot, because if I'm looking at it overall, we can go brighter, and then we can shift this a little, and like this is pretty gnarly. Right, let me do that. Oop, bring down the darks just a little bit too. Um, and then go a little more yellow. By just like adding in some of these like the lifted tones, a little more blues and more haziness, we can start to see and like get that feeling of underwater. But I really do feel like we're missing the God rays a little bit, and I think that those kind of slashing in from this side will really help out. And I think that'll be a good place to start and to move from the next one. Is just lifting dark values, creating more atmospheric fall off, and then adding some God rays. I think that'll leave us in a good spot. Alfredo, you are up next. So love the softness and the simplicity of the shot. Like there's subtlety here. There's subtlety in her skin tones. There's subtlety in her face. Um, I love the color palette. I think the earring, this right here, might be a little bit too saturated. Um, Her lips are more saturated than everything else, but I think that's a little bit fitting. And I think that works out well. I would just take down the saturation on this earring. I'm gonna just do that. I think that'll kind of help it fall back into space a little bit. Additionally, I think that we can go brighter and glowier overall on the character. So let's just go ahead and take this, brighten her up a little bit, and then let's go ahead and all right, and then we're gonna add a little diffusion to the shot as well, because I want to just like soften it overall. Screen that on top. Too much, but we can tone that down. And the other thing that's happening here is, let's see, is you can start to see some value creep in around the edges, or like directly behind her as I lifted that. So and because really what I'm seeing is like, I love the simplicity, but the black background is a little too stark. So it'd be nice to get a little bit more value in there. It's a really tough thing to dial in because it's not exact, like it won't. It's hard because like it's so finicky. Um, but I think that adding a little bit more value on the background will really, really help that out. But yeah, so a little more diffusion, desaturate the earring, a little more value overall. Like let's boost it up overall, and then get a little value in the background. Just like it's okay if from like here and here out, it's black. We just want like a little ramp up of value coming this way, so it kind of really helps frame her up here in the center. But really beautiful stuff. Love the shaping on her. Um, Now that we've brightened this up, this red light might be a little strong. So really, it's just a matter of increasing her key a little bit. I think that'll be really great. And next up, we have Danny with a couple submissions. So let's take a look. So we've got the poker puss, and then we have the playground. So let's start with the playground. So I was looking at this, and I was like, something's not quite feeling right yet. So I wanted to find some sunset images, and I found this one. And you can, like you can take it or leave it, but I think that your shadow shape is great. It's just like the value is feeling like too burnt out in some of these things. And I was like, maybe like technically it's right, but like something just is feeling a little off to me. And I was looking at this, and one of the things that I'm seeing is, you see like the sun, how it's like brighter here in the middle, like directly underneath it, and then it kind of fades off as we go that way in this image. I'm wondering if we couldn't do something similar, like if the sun's here, just make like this area brighter, like this area be the value that it is right now, and then like it kind of dwindles as we go off over here and dwindles as we go off to the other side, because I think that'll help. The other thing that I was seeing, not only in this reference but others too, and you can check it out, was just um, the lack. We're missing color and value in the shadows, so we're like kind of missing that skylight, right? So like if I mean, like just looking in the shadow region, like I would expect to see a little bit more along these lines with actually, let me do this differently, with a little more color in it too. So like if shift this a little brighter, and then took this and shifted this a little, I don't know, like it's a little too red, but like something maybe along these lines, and then use that as the um, like shadow color, so that you could feel some more bounce light in there. Because again, this is feeling very it's like very saturated. I think we could back down the saturation on that a little bit, and very crispy, and it's kind of like blurring out, and I think we can isolate that brightness to just that center section. Also, it's really hard on these square buildings, or these cubic buildings, but it would be great if we could find ways to hit rim lights on like some of these, or just like some more, because right now they're just like all dark, right? And they've got the sun right behind them. So I guess it's just a matter of, you know what, that might be okay later when we start layering in some like Z depth and atmospheric stuff, because that'll be a big part of this. It's just that they're flat, and it would be nice to get a little bit more shaping in them. So maybe, yeah, maybe just some more, again, more skylight to get in, like, because these shadows are super like bulletproof dark. Um, and you'd expect the sun to hit the street here. Maybe just some more bounce light up on there, and maybe that'll help. Um, but yeah, and then watch out. You might want to check the scale on the subsurface on this uh, this guy over here. Oh wait, there we go. That one, because it's like you see how it's really, really, really shining through. It almost makes it feel like it's very, very small. So I think that's a good a good place to go with. So more fill value, more sky value in here, more light right down the middle, so it's not just like omnipresent or around. Again, fill in the shadows here, and then look for opportunities to hit with a little rim light. And then I'm a big fan of just going ahead and pushing it into comp, to just give it a go, because like some of these problems may be resolved in comp, and conversely, you may uncover things in the comp that you really want to fix in the original render. So I would encourage you to do that. And last but not least, we have your poker scene. Really cool stuff here. The few things that I would work on, I think that we might have. I think this is working out well. I'm trying to think of the framing on this. I think this is good for now. Biggest thing is you just want to blow out. Like I would blow this out, like make this much, much brighter. And then it's also an opportunity to, this is a semi-transparent light, or this up here, to add a little bit of glow maybe back in here behind it. But then also, like, you definitely want to limit the volumetric light towards the top, like the scattery diffuse, like the scattery stuff to the top of the frame, because what's happening right now is the character is being lost in the background a little bit, and it would be great if we preserve some of the darker elements. This is just a mock-up, but like, made sure that his major elements are staying in place. Like, you want his dark values to stand out. This is a terrible representation, but basically all I want is this scatter light to just kind of exist up here, and not really infiltrate his silhouette. And then perhaps there could be some more haze behind him that separates us from the far background there. But by having the haze over everything, I think we're not allowing an opportunity for his dark values to pop forward. In terms of his the tentacles, you were talking about the shader and how you were unable to get rims. You can, because sometimes some soft, squishy stuff, it is difficult. You can render those rims as a separate pass with a slightly different shader on it, and then add those in. I've definitely done that before, just to make sure that you're getting the look, because sometimes the subsurface sculpt just becomes too squishy, and you can't actually get that. And then additionally, like, again, I think this is just a subsurface, but the way that his screen, left side of his head, you definitely feel like there's key light there, but I'm not totally feeling it on the hat. So something to be aware of there. And then if you could open this door just a little bit more, because this tangent right on the arm is a little tight. I'm trying to think, that's pretty much it. Oh, and then same thing here, if you want to play around with maybe adding a secondary color to kind of fill in this blackness. Maybe there's like a little bit of a cool haze in the room or something like that, just to kind of fill in, so it's not like just super jet black everywhere. But you can play around with that, maybe mock it up with the color and the comp, and then just see what you think. But I think that could really be helpful for you as well. All right, so I think that's it for today. If you all have any questions at all, feel free to chime in. I apologize to anyone whose stuff I miss. It's tough in Facebook, because again, things get buried, and we're working on an additional solution for that. But if I ever miss you, just make sure you repost again, because the logarithm will put it right back up at the top, and I will definitely see it for the following day's critique. So have a great day, everyone, and I will talk to you all very soon. All right, happy lighting, everybody.